Today I'm taking a look at the Firecore laser level with tripod. So here is the tripod. This actually has stiffer legs than I was expecting. Most of the time when you get a laser level tripod, they usually come with plastic legs. These are actually aluminum. Head on here can tilt, so if you want to, you could just use this as a camera tripod. We got this little twisting handle, so that will lock it in place. We have this knob on the other side that will allow it to pan. It does have a quick release on the top, so if you want to just lock your laser level onto that, we can take that guy, slap it on there, so we could easily throw that thing on our tripod and take it off quickly whenever we want to. I do appreciate that it actually has a little thumb nut on there, so we don't need to pop out a screwdriver in order to get that thing on and off. We also have something interesting right here. We can take that guy from horizontal to portrait mode. So if you are going to be using this with a camera, that'll be a quick way of getting those phone style shots. If you're going to be posting to Instagram or something like that, we can do that. It can also be handy because the laser level has to be relatively level. If you're putting this on an uneven surface, instead of having to mess around with the feet, you can just take this guy, move that where it needs to go. We do have a spirit level on the top, and we got this little lock right here, which will allow us to periscope up. So with that, we can get a lot of extra length, which is very important for a laser level, and being able to dial that in, especially nice and slowly, is something that most tripods cannot do, but this one definitely can. So that way, if you're trying to line up your screws and you need to move it just a little bit, this little gearing mechanism is going to be very useful for that. I also appreciate that when we're done with that, we can just flop that guy out of the way. On the bottom, this does have these style of releases that I like. They are the little flip style. I prefer these other ones that you have to rotate just because they're so quick. You just flop it down, pull it back up, it is unlocked or locked. As we stretch those legs out, we do have a locking center post, so we don't have to worry about this thing collapsing on us. I also appreciate these are flat bars, so that's going to add a lot of rigidity to this tripod. Then in this box, we have got our laser level. This is the F95T XG. It does come with a carrying pouch. It's also a nice and cushioned carrying pouch. We've got our power adapter for charging. So that is USB-A on the top. And on the bottom it says it's good for 100 or 240 volts, so it's good for international or domestic. And it puts 1 amp at 5 volts. We've got our laser target. So in the event that you need to broadcast that laser over a long distance, especially if it's going to be bouncing off of something that's going to be more difficult to see, this is going to be highly effective. This is going to make that laser very easy to see. We also have a little scale on here so you can see inches and centimeters. We have some magnets on the top so we can stick that up to something. And we have some holes right here on the bottom, so if we want to, we can screw that to something. Here is the laser level. Okay, so that does come charged up. It does look like we've got our battery installed here, and that does come with 3 bars of charge. We've got our charging port, that is USB-C, and we got our charging cable, it's USB-A to USB-C. Looks like the battery can just pop right out, so in the event that you want to replace it or just get an extra battery, we can do that with this. On the back we got 4 magnets, so if we want to, we can stick that right onto some machinery. On the bottom of the base we got a 5/8 as well as a 1/4-20 mount, so we can attach that to our tripod, or if we have an industrial laser level tripod, we can attach that right here. One of the cool things about it is we have got this little knob right here. You can see as I twist that, that is actually twisting the entire base. So that way, if you need to line up with something on the wall that's pretty far away, but it'd be hard to actually grab the thing and spin it to get it to line up perfectly, this is going to get you a nice, very fine tune adjustment. We can see on there we do have 3 emitters. They actually have a nice rubber guard on there as well, so you can help to prevent against shocks. So to turn it on, all we gotta do is flip that guy to the side. We have a brightness adjustment. We have our receiver adjustment, so in the event that you have a pulse receiver, instead of using this to amplify the light that's coming off of it, an electric receiver will actually see the light and tell you where it is. So even if you cannot see it with your eyes, the pulse receiver will still be able to see it. I can't see right now that is blinking. That is because it is not currently level, but as we level that guy out, the blinking will go solid, so we know that it is in fact level. If we hit brightness, you can see we can adjust that brightness, so it does get pretty darn bright. If we hit the receiver button, that is also going to adjust which emitters are on, so we can get all 3 going. Or if we press and hold, then that will turn on the pulse mode, so that can be picked up by a receiver. It will be a little bit darker in that mode, so if you're not using a receiver like that, then you do not need to have that on. But it is nice to know that it does give you that option. And if we turn that off, we are now in manual mode. So you can see the light is no longer blinking, so that way if we need to make a nice straight line, so if we're doing something like a staircase and we just want to mark out a straight line, we can use that for that. And you can see that when we switch those, it does in fact lock those emitters into place. And something I just noticed in the back, we also have an extra battery. This is a 3.7 volt 4000 milliamp hour battery. We have a little button on there, so we can see this one is also fully charged. And we have got our manual. So that has an IP54 rating, class 2 laser. Overall accuracy is plus or minus 2 millimeters over 10 meters. That is a working distance of 30 meters or 98 feet. And the receiver that you're going to use with that is the FD30, which has a range of 60 meters or 197 feet. Laser wavelength is 505 nanometers. Charging time is about 2 to 3 hours with a 2 amp adapter, and it runs for about 8 hours. And we also have a remote, and it comes with a little keychain adapter. So in the event that we got this on, but we don't want to risk bumping it, we can turn the horizontal off and on, and we can turn the verticals on. Looks like we can also turn it on to pulse mode. And we can adjust the brightness. Very nice. So not only does it come with a remote, but it actually works right out of the box. So let's go ahead and put that guy to use. So we got it right there, and we are casting a line on this wall, and even with all the lighting that we got in here, we can still see that line from back here. Well, now if I follow that line down and I drill the same hole right there, then we know that this shelf should be level. Since we got that, we can also cast our laser right here on these brackets, and we can confirm that those are in fact level. With the lights off, we can easily see that line cast all the way around this shop. Now I can throw my vertical line, and with that little fine tune knob, I can line up with that screw so that we are perfectly up and down. And then we can use that laser level again to confirm how we did. Actually, it looks like the board is warped a little bit, so it's a little lower on the ends than it is in the center. But we got the ends pretty much lined up, so I know that that is a level job. So overall, that is a very nice laser level.